Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a look at my personal top 10 picks for best raiding and PvE add-ons in WoW. I've covered my UI add-ons in a different video, so check that out if you're interested in my nameplates, unit frames, action bars, cast bar, that kind of thing. Number 10. Exorsus Raid Tools. This add-on does all sorts of useful things, but the bit that I got it for was the specific boss mods. Every now and then, there's a boss fight that's just way smoother with a special tool. Assigning Chromog positions in Blackrock Foundry and passing the orb on Iskar in Hellfire Citadel are two good examples of that. Just having Exorsus downloaded and up to date means that if there's a tool to make a fight easier, you'll have it ready. There's a whole whack of other features that you might find useful also. Healers or raid leaders might want to track raid cooldowns to coordinate defensives through tough phases. There's a battle res timer, a raid inspect tool to check on everyone's gear, and invite tools to send out mass invites for raid. There's a history of everyone's bonus loot, a log of raid attendance, and statistics on boss pulls, kills, and kill times. It all stays out of your way until you need it, so there's very little setting up to do for the average player. Number 9. Angry Keystones. This isn't technically a raid add-on, but it's a really handy little mod to have if you do Mythic Keystone dungeons at all. You can see how much time you have left for 2 and 3 chests and a total death counter. It shows how much enemy forces percentage each mob gives on their tooltip. When keystones are linked in chat, it puts the dungeon and difficulty in the linked text so you don't have to click on it to find out what key it is. You can also use it to hide quest and achievement tracking during Mythic Plus and hide pop-up dialogue as well. If you run Mythic Plus dungeons regularly, you should definitely pick up Angry Keystones. Angriness is optional. Number 8. MaxCam. This isn't specific to raiding, but boy does it help with raiding. You can adjust your max camera distance with a script, but mine kept resetting, and the only way that I could keep my max camera distance maxed was with an add-on like MaxCam. It's about being able to see which way Visa Doom is facing for disintegration. It's about getting a nice view of which hand Helya is using to throw a curveball in your face, and keeping Gul'dan in the shot before he turns the fell hose on you. Number 7. RC Loot Council. This is a loot distribution add-on that completely streamlines a master loot council situation. This is a ground-up solution that requires everyone in the raid to have the add-on, so either your guild uses it or they don't. RC Loot Council allows your raid leader to set up different categories of how badly you want loot, such as main spec, off spec, minor upgrade, transmog, etc. Then when loot drops, the entire raid can click their need level of each piece. The loot distributors can see who needs it, what piece that raider would be replacing, and if any notes have been made. If your guild is already set up with EPGP or a rolling system, then don't worry about it. If you're setting up a new raiding team and you plan on using Loot Council, RC Loot Council is the best thing you can get. Number 6. OmniCC. In this case, the CC stands for cooldown count and not crowd control. It threw me too. OmniCC is a very simple add-on that does one thing. It puts a big, clear number counting down the cooldowns of abilities on your bar over their icon, so you know exactly how long you have left until it comes up. Of course, you can choose your text style, font, position, and all that good stuff to make it look the way you want. Sometimes I want to know exactly how many seconds I have left until Void Torrent comes up so I can ballpark whether I need to disperse or not to hit it. If you're looking for cooldowns over your action bars, OmniCC is what you're after. Number 5. Skada. So I'm going to talk about 2 damage meters in this video, and Skada is the first one. I used Skada for years. I found it to be more stable than Recount, and it offered more detailed information. You can make multiple windows and adjust the data to show you precisely what you want. You can also show or hide Skada by clicking its minimap button to put it out of sight when you don't need it. Number 4. Details. This is the second damage meter, and this one is what I'm using right now. It's a little more resource taxing than Skada, but it's still miles away from being an issue. The options panel for details is a bit nicer looking, and I found it easier to navigate. To be totally honest with you, I haven't gotten fully into everything details can track, which is pretty much everything short of a full combat log. Both damage meters can keep track of who's doing the most add damage, which is nice for shaming your raid into doing fights properly. Details has this compare feature that lets you see your data against another group member with the same class and spec as you, so if you're being outperformed, you might be able to figure out some tips. Number 3. Pawn. Figuring out gear upgrades in Legion is an actual nightmare. With all the Warforges and Titan Forges and sockets going around, it's very difficult to tell if a new piece of gear is actually better for you. Pawn simplifies this process by using stat weights to mark upgrades with a nice big green check mark. Of course, you have to get those stat weights from somewhere, so I recommend either using SimCraft or a trusted resource website for your class to figure out what your best stat weights are. There are video guides on my channel to help you get started with Simcraft for beginners and then set up Pawn with those weights if you're not quite sure how. Number 2. Tell Me When and WeakAuras 2. These are different add-ons that do more or less the same thing, which is allowing custom UI alerts. It's easier to make your own alerts with Tell Me When, but WeakAuras is pretty widely used too, and both allow you to import strings from other users. This crazy void form tracking bar in my UI is a custom WeakAura that I found on How To Priest. You can track pretty much anything with WeakAuras or Tell Me When. Your cooldowns, your friends' cooldowns, your procs, debuff durations, whatever. For example, once we get our weapons leveled up, it'll be a great idea to have a WeakAura or Tell Me When showing you clearly when you have the Concordance of Legion Fall proc up so you can maximize its use. I keep both add-ons around because I don't see any reason why not, and then I go looking for new strings whenever there's something I wish I could track. If it's a simple buffer cooldown that you'd like a WeakAura for, you can look up the spell on Wowhead and then use the Create WeakAura button to get a string you can start with. Making WeakAuras from scratch is both a skill and an art form, but anybody can find decent ones online. Finally, my number 1 top recommended add-on for raiding, DeadlyBossMods. I haven't raided without DBM for more than twice in my entire raiding career. It's one of the top most downloaded add-ons ever for a reason. DBM does quite a few things, but the main ones are alerts and boss cooldowns. Being able to see how many seconds until the next Bonds of Fel or Eye on Gul'dan is vital to positioning yourself correctly and being ready. Of course, there's a nice loud horn letting you know when you're standing in the fire, or often when you're about to be standing in the fire. DBM is a classic, and just having it installed can turn a completely clueless newbie raider into a moderately aware asset to the team. I don't think I really have to talk anyone into DBM because you probably already have it. And those are my top add-ons for raiding. Take a look at my user interface add-on and quality of life add-on videos linked in the description, along with links to all of these great WoW mods. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.